Welcome to your weekly Seize the Day cruise show, powered by Travel with Brigitte. Now let's turn it over to our hosts, Karla Mesa and Julie Williams. Julie, what's the topic today?
And I'm Julie Williams, along with Travel with Brigitte cruise expert Karla Mesa on the Seize the Day cruise show. Today, we're going to talk about traveling during the holidays. Karla, I've never traveled over like Thanksgiving or Christmas. I would love to, but the prices, and New Year's can be spectacular, but it's just kind of not something I'm willing to pay. But what do you have to do differently if you're cruising during the holidays that you don't have to do during the regular time of the year?
Well, first and foremost, honestly, I love traveling over the holidays. I love traveling during Christmas and experiencing similar, places I've already been, but with their Christmas glow and their decorations. I think it's a lot of fun. It's something I typically do. But with that being said, there's nothing you necessarily have to do differently, but there's all kinds of fun stuff you get to do differently.
Right.
First and foremost, packing all your, festive attire, your holiday gear, getting the kids and matching PJs and all of that. So that's a big one you see is everyone is usually pretty decked out in their, Christmas attire and very festive looks. And so that's definitely one. You're gonna want to be dressed up, not necessarily dressed up fancy, but dressed like Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So what about excursions? Do they close for Christmas or for New Year's?
No, I mean, that's usually, holidays are peak travel times. A lot of people take advantage of having the days off, kids being out of school, family members, coming together to maybe have these holidays. Maybe they're all coming from different areas and visiting somewhere that is very specific to having excursions that are centered around the holidays. A lot of people that don't experience snow, they might want to book a Seattle cruise during this time, or maybe even upstate in New York. Those cruises are very popular during this time, as well as in Europe, the Christmas market cruises. Those are very, very popular. That's a lot of fun. Things do not close at all. If anything, you might even have a wider variety of things to do.
Wow. I imagine it's probably pretty hectic. I mean, with the kids out of school, it's not exactly going to be an adult cruise, I would imagine.
No, this is definitely a family, young family centric time. Young family, older families. Again, you might even have multi-generational type of trips where you're getting grandparents, parents, and children, either young children, kids that are in college, all coming together. So this, like I said, it is peak travel time. You definitely want to expect larger crowds, longer wait times, probably higher prices as well. So really depends on how you like to travel, whether or not traveling during the holidays is worth it for you. Right, I will say that.
Yeah, and definitely plan ahead. For example, Santa Claus would like you to think early about gifts and bring them onto the ship, because it's hard for him to get into each cabin. So you definitely want to plan ahead for that.
Yes. Any holiday plans is best planned ahead. It's cheapest planned ahead. It's only going to get more expensive. And, gift buying has become such a thing now. We used to have Black Friday, then it was Black Friday week. Now it's Black Friday month. But, I love to gift experiences. Sometimes it is nice to, give someone something tangible that they can keep, and then you see that they have it, for a long time. Right. But it's also great to give people experiences, something that they can continue to talk about, something that, they have a picture framed on their wall. And that's a really great gift to give on cruise lines, because you have a lot of these extras nowadays where you have to pay separately to experience, the Robotron on the new Sea escape, or, you know, you're going on the very first time to the Christmas markets to Europe, and you've always wanted to see the Northern Lights or something, and you get to surprise with everyone, like, okay, we're going to do an excursion doing that. Like, that would be an amazing Christmas gift.
Yes, or a picture of something if it's like too big to bring with you. And another thing I was thinking, Karla, and you know, I don't have any experience with this, but I was just thinking, you know, I mean, they search your luggage, so I imagine you probably, you know, can't wrap the gifts, at least not till you get on.
Yes, I recommend something like that if you're going to be traveling with gifts. So I travel with gifts a lot. I don't wrap. I know that it's a lot nicer. It looks better. But it's not going to look great if you, either take the wrapping paper with you and try to do it on the ship. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Very time consuming.
Maybe gift bags if they're good.
And that's what I was going to say. But gift bags are really easy to travel with. You know, tissue paper already has to get a little crinkled up, so it's not too bad. You know, if it gets gets a little weathered in your bag, and it's easier to clean up. You know, you don't want to do too much to your cabin if you're having, you know, a cabin Christmas morning, or even if you take them out to the deck, you're not going to want to leave all kinds of wrapping paper to just get cleaned up by your cabin steward. So my recommendation is gift bags. If you're trying to wrap gifts ahead of time to save time and then pack them, you might not be very happy with the outcome. And if you think, oh, I can just do that the first night on the ship, that might not be the best outcome either.
That's right. Hey, we've got a lot of tips here. We've got some more coming. So before I forget, what we've done is we've linked to a free PDF cheat sheet in the show notes, so you can print it out and then you know, maybe also write on it the ideas that you have. And if you have any new creative ideas, we would love to hear it. And then other people who are maybe going this year might want to read about it in the notes. You know, to read about it about your ideas in addition to what we have. So check out that one-page summary of all these ideas that you can reference in your planning. So, Karla, do you remember the old, you might not remember the quote old days, but, you know, like the biggest thing was, oh, no, I bought them a train that I forgot the batteries, you know.
That is still the case.
Today, it goes further than remembering the batteries.
You're right. Today it's, it didn't come with the charger it needs.
or a power strip.
Or a power strip. Yeah, no, you're totally, or we don't have enough to charge everything for everyone to use the next day. Yeah, no, I would definitely say bringing, you know, a cruise line certified power strip. You definitely want to look specifically on what's allowed on your ship, but bringing extra USB boxes, or even I'm really loving these new USB cords that split into 3, and they have all 3 of the chargers. You have your micro USB, your USB-C, and your iPhone Lightning charger for those of us that still have old phones.
So I have the same thing by my bed, and it also includes the Apple Watch charger.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I haven't had to upgrade to that. I'm not a big watch wearer, but that's really nice too.
Once you get it, you can never go back.
That's what I've heard, and I think that's why I have to stay away for now.
So when we're on board, how can we make the most of the fact that it is the holidays? How do we make the, quote, holidays special aside from just being on a cruise?
So that's one of the best parts, is that most likely the cruise line is already going to have a lot of additional events all centered around the holidays. Mm-hmm. So that can be from, usually there's like a tree lighting event at the very beginning of the cruise. Usually in like the main area, they will have a big, beautiful tree that's available for pictures, especially on like formal night. That'll be really nice to get family pictures. There's usually holiday shows going on, whether that be the main show in the theater that gets kind of revamped for the holidays, or they'll also have like, you know, the band that's playing in the main area. They'll usually do some Christmas music throughout the day, or they may even do almost like Christmas show specials. Like I've seen where they kind of do a run through of like the Nutcracker, where it's not necessarily, they're not, you know, playing it out, but they're playing the music out. So that's a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
Usually for like kids and families, they'll have like craft areas going on, or they might even have like some caroling in the evening. And there's a lot more going on. That's the best part.
and a special dinner, or however you'd like to do it, maybe a special breakfast or whatever you do at home, but in a different way. If you have a special tradition or something, it's hard enough to get into some of those specialty restaurants if you don't go on and book them the very first day. So the holidays, I imagine it would be worse.
Yes, definitely. I highly recommend a specialty restaurant for your holiday dinner. It's usually just like a more elevated experience, especially, if you're specifically going on the cruise ship to have a special Christmas, you want to add that to it. But yes, it's a busier time in general. You want to get that reservation in as soon as possible. If you need your travel agent to help you out with that, they can definitely do that, or they can find a way around it. There's nothing wrong with being in the regular dining room, or even if you want to take it easy and do some type of buffet style. But again, it's just a busy time. So whatever it is that you do want to do, you have to get it in the books early.
Yeah. And one thing that just occurred to me about the main dining room is they might like have something special, like a special kind of like steak and lobster, as well as say, just a turkey meal or something.
Yes.
But
special holiday menu.
I like lamb myself. And
Okay.
a lot of times if I ask if they have any lamb, they can make it, especially if I ask in advance. And sometimes they can't, but they can put a note in and they'll have one by tomorrow night, But
Yeah.
if there's something special like that, they may not be able to accommodate. And, that's okay. They are on a ship,
Right.
They might not have everything that's needed, but just be sure to ask them if there's any way that they can make the holiday better. They don't know your traditions.
Yes, that's a good point. Or, depending on how many port days you have left, they may even be able to make a recommendation if they can't get anything to you soon enough. Or if they say, hey, you know what, we can, but this is where it'd be coming from, and this is where we're going to stop if you happen to also want to go into the restaurant.
Do cruise lines still allow you to decorate your cabin door?
It depends on the cruise line. I know the last time I was on Carnival, you still could, but I don't know if that's part of their new rule changes. I hope it's not. That part was kind of fun. You just get some easy magnets, and it doesn't bother anybody. But even if you can't decorate your door anymore, or the outside of your cabin, I know you for the most part cannot decorate your balcony. But you can decorate the inside of your room, definitely. I like to get like the little window sticker things and put those on the mirror. That doesn't bother anyone. Easy cleanup. Cool. It's fun for my son to do. But there are definitely things that you can bring on board that you just make sure you're not bringing, fake glass, or not fake, but real glass ornaments or anything like that. I know people would like to do their little mini trees that are already pre-lit. That's an easy, cute little cabin decoration.
I never thought about that, but I'm big on colored Christmas lights. And I'll put them up in a room. Like I was staying at my sister's for a few months at one point, and I put some up in my room. And it was, Christmas time, but I left them up until I left a few months later, because it was just like, I liked the ambiance in the room with the Christmas lights on. So I might do that any time of the year.
Yeah, I've thought of that also, especially nowadays, you have so many of these smaller like LED lights that you need a battery pack for. You just put 3 AA batteries in there and you're good. You don't even have to plug it in. Like it's not necessarily like a safety concern. That'd be awesome to add to a room.
Is there anything else that you can think of that would be really helpful to know ahead of time, to think of ahead of time, maybe to avoid some frustration? The holidays can get frustrating anyway, some frustration on your holiday cruise.
Yes, I will say 2 things. One, you definitely want to think about everything that you want out of the cruise, aside from it being Christmas, because a lot of people go on the cruise thinking like, okay, I'm going to go to the beach, I'm going to spend time at the pool. And depending on your itinerary, it might be way too cold to do that.
It might be a cold plunge rather than a regular bathing.
Exactly. So sometimes people, they don't exactly separate the two wants and realize that they can't get everything from both in the one trip. Yeah. But if that's something you want, then you just talk to your travel agent and we can find something that works for you. The first time I ever traveled during Christmas was to Miami. I was in the pool all day on Christmas Eve. Like that was what I was looking for, and that was a great time. Other times I'm like, no, I want to see snow fall. So it's different. You want to think about that. And to add to that point, because there are so many destinations you can go to, they're all going to be busy. You need to give yourself extra time to get from point A to point B to point C. You have to have patience, especially the more people you're traveling with, the older and the younger, you're just going to want to give yourself a lot of time.
Exactly. I mean, that's a good idea anyway, but just think about, like doubling it or something for the holidays.
Exactly. And you also, you might even get delays. Again, weather. During that time, you do have to, expect the best, prepare for the worst type of thing.
And everybody will be, not everybody, but a lot of people will be traveling with children, and they might have like 4 children in tow, and if they're in front of you, that's going to slow you down a little bit. Yeah. Believe me, I had my hands full with one when we traveled. So some people, like my best friend, is a whole lot better at handling a bunch of kids. She would take her 3 and then mine to help me out. But just keep that in mind, and be patient.
You never know. Some people are avid travelers. Some people really aren't. Maybe they've saved up so long. This is the first time they're getting on a plane and they don't know what they're doing. And you're behind them in TSA. And you just have to have some patience, or you can help them out even, like you said, I'm that mom that's just with my one kid, but we're good. We have our system. We're faster than some single people, getting through TSA, and I still will offer someone help. Like if I can help and I see they need it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Hey, don't forget, we've got that one-page idea sheet for you that you can download for free in the notes section, the show notes. And also, we encourage you to put your own ideas down in the comments below, because believe me, it'll not only help us, give us some ideas, because we're travelers too, but it will also help other people who are watching the Seize the Day Cruise Show. So till next week, we are Karla and Julie. We hope you have a wonderful holiday, whether you are spending it on a cruise ship or not. And we encourage you till next time to seize the day.
Thank you for joining us today on the Seize the Day Cruise Show, powered by Travel with Brigitte. If you enjoyed today's episode, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to add your own 2 cents below. By the way, you can book a cruise 24/7 at bookings@travelwithbrigitte.com. Let us show you how we can get you a better value than you'd get on your own. And join us again next week on the Seize the Day Cruise Show.